One Voice USA has officially unveiled its 2023 nomination lineup, which prominently features Africa's eminent voiceover virtuoso and a brand South Africa Play Your Part ambassador Chilu Lemba, competing in the category of Best International Voiceover Performance. Lemba has been nominated for his exemplary work on an ad for the South African Guide Dogs Association entitled Freedom. He joins us now. Very good afternoon. Appreciate your time. Talk to us about this impending accolade. I mean, the recognition in itself is massive.
Hugo, it's what I'm excited about. I mean, out of the many nominations we do over the years, I think this one is special because it's in an international category. So I'm there pitted against some people from Japan, I think some people from Peru. It's a tough category, but you know, it's one that, as I say, I'm pretty excited about.
So let's talk about your journey and how you've gotten to this stage where you are rated amongst the best on the planet.
Well, initially I started out like most people who are in voiceover. They either start out as musicians or as people in radio. So in my part, I started out in radio back in 1996, showing my age. But it's been an incredible journey since then. So from radio, I segued into voiceover. I've done, I think, thousands over the years, and I haven't looked back. The first big assignment I think I had in Johannesburg in South Africa was narrating the Coca-Cola Pop Star series. If you're as old as I think you might be, Hugo, you might remember that. And so that was in, I think, 2003.
I will not respond to that.
Well, it was a good show. You can look it up on YouTube. And so that's been the journey. And last year, December, I was fortunate enough to be nominated for another award in the U.S. It was an African category for the Voice Arts Award. So I traveled over to Hollywood and got the award. But as I say, this one upcoming next month will be interesting because all the nominees are international contenders. The SOVAS Award, which I got, was Best African Voiceover, so it was an African category, and that's the difference with this new nomination.
So let's talk about the Guide Dogs Association and this particular ad called Freedom. Walk us through it.
So the Freedom ad is part of a larger campaign that the SA Guide Dogs Association put together. And what the crux of the campaign is that a guide dog for a person that's blind affords you like a channel to be free, to be able to work, to be able to interact and go places. So that was the essence of the campaign, and my brief was to kind of make it hearty and warm. And we did so many takes with that particular ad, but after we were done with it, I was speaking to Sean Clark from CMP, who produced it, and we were both saying that it feels like it's award-worthy because of all the work that went into it. Not only me as the voiceover artist, but all the other people involved in it. And when you look at it, I think you might get goosebumps, and that's a function of the voice, the final mix, and all these other elements that came together. The act. I was going to say the actors, but they are blind for real. So. It's one of those special ads, and one that I'm proud to have been involved in.
Chilu, now, you talked about 1996 as the year that you started, I think, on radio, you indicated. Now, many, many years later, I won't say how many, 96, 4, 27, I think it's about 27 years ago. How has your performance in 1996 changed to what you're doing today, which is globally recognized?
Well, when you start out, that's the thing with voiceover. As an artist, it's all about momentum. So I always tell people who are coming into the industry that to get to where I am, it'll just mean lots of repeat business, lots of legwork, and a journey that just has a trajectory that has consistency, etc. So in my part, when you speak about my performances back when I started out, and I listened to the tapes, not CDs, not MP3s.
What are those?
I sound very different, So now I do sound very different, very green, but sometimes there was sincerity because when you're a trained professional, you start sounding a certain way. So even right now, as I'm speaking to you, I have a certain timbre, a certain swag, which might come through because of the fact that I've been doing this for a long time. But when you start out, you're green, you don't know any better, and you just give sincere performances. So from a growth perspective, I think I've grown as an artist. from an opportunity perspective, I've got, some pretty big gigs over the years. But, yeah, humble beginnings, and then it just goes up and up and up, I suppose.
So let's talk about a couple of things. So one of those things, origins from Zambia, you African, you're black. And you obviously have the entire continent,
Evidently.
the entire continent on your shoulders. Does this put any pressure on you? Or what does it mean to those that are watching and wanting to follow in your footsteps?
You're absolutely right. And with these awards, which are pioneering, because, I mean, with the awards this year, I'll be, I think, only the second African who's been nominated under Best International Performance, and I'm the only African this year. So there is a huge responsibility sometimes that you feel, because if you score the win, it's big for the continent. When I got the Silvas Award last year, December, because of the fact that it was a first for Africa, I decided to travel. It was, maybe, I don't know, 18 hours in the air. But you're there, and if you know that if you do win and you step on stage to give your speech, which is what happened in my case, you're not only representing yourself, you've got the continent and people who aspire to be where you are looking up to you. So it is a huge responsibility, and if we win next month, it'll be big. If we don't win, I'm sure there'll be another African who will come after me and scoop that award.
Well, I like the fact that you talk about we. Well, we are rooting behind you, Chilu, and certainly wish you all the best. I hope we can have this conversation when you have the winner's medal.
Absolutely, Hugo. Thank you so much. If I do, I'll come and flash it in front of your screen.